Welcome back once again to Seahawks Now, your home for all things daily Seattle Seahawks news, content, updates, rumors, everything, all that good stuff. Today, Seattle is the number 2 ranked team in the league according to DVOA, despite their 3-2 record, which maybe is mediocre. Is this important? Does it mean we are a better team than our record shows? We're going to discuss that. Plus, is Jackson Smith and Jigba the second best receiver in the league? Maybe. And finally, should the Seahawks consider making a trade with the Giants for one player that you might not expect? But it might be time to get this Giants offensive star on your radar. Hint, hint, it's not a former Seahawk, so it's not Russell Wilson. But yeah, let's get into things, guys. DVOA, we've talked about this before because we were number 3 a few weeks ago. Now we're number 2. This is a stat that is created by ftnfantasy.com, football today, I believe, football something like that. And you've got the regular season team total DVOA. Essentially what it does is it's trying to project who's the best team, and it gives a success rate on every play. So right now, Seattle in 2025 is number 2. Their total DVOA is 42.2%. That is the second best in the league. Now they do break it down between offense and defense. I don't get to see that, unfortunately, because I don't pay for it. But they're number 2. Detroit is number 1. So here's where it's interesting. Here's the teams that they're in the same tier with. The 4-1 Lions are number 1. The 3-2 Seahawks are number 2. The 4-1 Colts are at number 3. Then the 3-2 Rams, and then the 3-2 Commanders, and then the 4-1 Jaguars, and then the 2-2 Packers, and then the 2-3 Texans in 8th, the 2-3 Chiefs in 9th, the 4-1 Bills in 10th, the 3-2 Broncos in 11th, the 3-2 Eagles, the 4-1 Eagles in 12th, the 2-2 Falcons in 13th, the 3-1 Steelers in 14th, the 2-2 Cowboys at 15, the 4-1 49ers all the way down at 16, the 3-2 Chargers at 17, and then the 4-1 Buccaneers at 18. And then the other winning teams, Arizona 2-3 is at 19, and then you've got the 3-2 Vikings at 20, and the 3-2 Patriots at 21. Apparently, they are the worst winning team. I say that all the records. The reason I go through all the teams' records is because, yeah, it generally makes sense. The top 21 teams, you've got the 18 teams with winning records, plus the Cardinals in there at 2-3 at number 19, and then obviously Houston and Kansas City both in the top 10, despite their record at 2-3. But they were both good teams last year. They were both playoff teams last year. They both suffered some very close, you could say, nail-biter losses to good teams. I mean, remember, the Texans almost beat the Buccaneers. They were a field goal away. Kansas City almost beating the Jaguars, almost beating the Eagles. So you could say, it makes sense why a couple of teams who are probably better than their record says, and we've seen them be really good recently. So that makes sense. So I say that because clearly this stat at least kind of knows which teams are good, which teams are bad. If you go to the worst teams, it's Cincinnati, New Orleans, Tennessee, Raiders, Jets, Giants, Dolphins, Browns. Those are your bottom 8 teams. And I generally would agree with that. I think those are the worst 8 teams in the league. I do think it's interesting. Teams like, the Buccaneers just beat us. They're ranked number 18. We are ranked at number 2. San Francisco also just beat us. They are ranked number 16. We are ranked number 2. The teams that we beat, you can see, we beat the number 31 Saints. Cool. We beat the number 19 Cardinals and the number 14 Steelers. So I think these rankings do become more accurate as the season goes on, but it's just interesting to see that they think we're better than our record. And on the one hand, I can see why. We're playing better. We could be 5-0 right now. You know what I mean? If a couple plays go our way in the Niners game and a couple plays go our way in the Bucs game, there's an argument that we should be 5-0. My problem with that way of thinking is that I think every team kind of thinks that way. You know what I mean? The Colts the Colts are like, yeah, man, if AD Mitchell catches that ball, we're 5-0. And the Rams are thinking, man, if we just got a couple of kicks that didn't get blocked against the Eagles and the Niners, we're 5-0. And Washington is thinking, man, if Marcus Mariota doesn't get hurt, or excuse me, if Jaden Daniels doesn't get hurt and Marcus Mariota doesn't have to start 2 games, we're probably 5-0. And the Jaguars, they're probably thinking, you know what? If a couple things go our way against the Niners, we're 5-0. In Green Bay, they're thinking, man, like if we just didn't tie with the Cowboys, and all it takes is again a couple. Green Bay was probably one play away from winning the Dallas game, and one play away. If Jordan Love doesn't throw an interception against the Browns, they're 5-0. So that's what I mean. It's like, you can say we're a couple plays away from being 5-0. At the same time, there's not really been a whole lot of blowouts among the good teams. Like the only teams that can really are like Detroit. Obviously, they can't say that they got blown out by the Packers. The Chiefs, I think they can say it. I think they could say that. I mean, they lost all their games were close losses. Houston, all their games were pretty close. Buffalo, their loss to New England, really close. Denver, their losses were both really close, nail biters. Philadelphia's was a close loss. Like, the Falcons can't say that. Again, they got blown out by Carolina. But my point is, I think there are probably 20 teams in the league right now that are saying, yeah, man, we're 2 plays away from 5-0. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's fair to just be like, yeah, the Seahawks are the only team in the league that feels like they should have more wins than they do. It's the NFL. Crazy things happen. It's a weird sport. At the same time, we have been playing really good football, and it's cool to see us getting recognized. I still wouldn't say we're the second best team in the league. I do think that the better we play every week, the more I believe, the more I start to believe. And like, I thought we would lose that game to Tampa Bay, but I didn't think it would be. I didn't even think we'd play that well. Like, and looking at some of the numbers, offense right now, yards per game, Seattle is averaging 332 yards per game. It's not in the top 10. It is in the top half of the league, though. If you look at passing, we are in the top 10 in passing, 236. Rushing, I think we need to work on that. We're bottom 5 rushing team right now. Only 95.7 yards. Excuse me, I'm looking at 2024. I don't know what I'm doing. 2025 offense yards per game. We actually are in the top 10. We are 9th, 358 per game. In passing, we are 5th at 245. In rushing, we are middle of the pack at 113. We're about 20th. And then in points per game, offensively, you're looking at the fifth highest scoring team in the league right now, averaging 29.2 points per game. Defensively, looking at yards per game, again, not perfect. We're middle of the pack in yards, 322. Most of that has to do with the passing. We're allowing a lot of passing yards right now, 239 passing yards per game. On the ground, we're doing well. We're the 3rd lowest rushing yards against us, 83. Opponents are only rushing for 83 yards against us. And again, if you look at the points, it's pretty good. 21 points per game we're allowing. It's not top 10. It's close to the top 10, though. If you look at special teams, right now we are averaging the 2nd most on kickoffs. Kick returns, 29 yards per kick return, number 2 in the league. On punt returns, we are also number 2 at 20.8. So we're getting the most out of our special teams. That, I believe, is huge. As far as kicking goes, again, Jason Myers has missed a couple. He's 9 for 12, 75%. That's towards the bottom half of the league. It's actually the lowest outside of New Orleans. So yikes! I didn't even realize he'd been that bad. As far as extra points, obviously we have what have we missed one? No, we haven't missed any. So we're good on extra points, 100% there. And then looking at punting, our average punt right now is going 47 yards, middle of the pack. Net yards though, a little bit worse. So still, I mean, our special teams has been good. As far as turnovers go, we are actually losing the turnover battle, which I think is interesting. We're at -1 with 7 takeaways, all interceptions, no fumbles yet. As far as interceptions go, we have the 2nd most interceptions in the league, but we haven't gotten a fumble yet. We are one of only 4 teams to not recover a fumble through 5 games. Giveaways right now, we've given the ball away 8 times. only 3 interceptions. We have fumbled 5 times. The fumbles are kind of becoming a problem. If you look at the interceptions, we're great, right? We've only thrown 3 picks and we've taken 7 picks. The problem is we have given up 5 fumbles and we've not taken away a single fumble. That is bad. The second most fumbles in the league. Only the Jets have fumbled more times than us. They fumbled 7 times in 5 games. But five fumbles in 5 games is not good. So we got to work on that. But again, it just goes to show. So looking at those numbers, I wouldn't take away that we're the second best team in the league. I would take away that we are a good team, and I would say that we're a complete team. There's nothing, again, outside of fumbles, which I think we can clean that up. There's nothing that we really suck at, and that's big. I mean, that matters. In the NFL, that matters, and we don't really like the passing yards. We are allowing a lot of passing yards, but the caveat to that, our secondary has been very banged up, so I'm not super concerned about that. Now, if Reek Woolen gets healthy and some guys get healthy, Julian Love gets healthier, Emin Wari gets healthy, and we're still allowing all those passing yards, that's going to be a problem, but we haven't got to that point yet. All right, I want to move on. I haven't even got to the other things I want to talk about today. Is Jackson Smith-Njigba the second best receiver in the league? We may save this topic for tomorrow, but just briefly to touch on this, JSN right now, he is so good, and I don't think, again, I'm going to talk about this every week until he has a bad game. He is well over 100 yards per game pace right now. Like, it's not even funny anymore. Like, it's not even like a fluke at this point. Like, I think he's just a really good football player. If you look at the receiving yards totals on NFL.com, receptions, he is 5th in the league with 34 receptions. He is now second to Puka Nacua with 534 passing yards. He has 90 more yards than the third place guy, which is Justin Jefferson. And he's closing in on Nacua. He now has his second touchdown. But what's crazy is he's doing it in so many fewer receptions. Like Nacua 52 receptions, 588 yards. So the quick math there, 588 by 52. Nacua is averaging 11.3 yards per reception. JSN, 534 in only 34. He's averaging 15.7 yards per reception. That is insane for a guy with that much volume to be averaging that many yards per catch. Right now, in 20-plus yard receptions, JSN leads the NFL with 10. Second place is Emeka Egbuka and Tet McMillan, both of them with 9. In 40-plus yard receptions, JSN leads the league with 4. Nobody else even has 3. Emeka Egbuka again with 2, as does Ryan Flournoy, Marvin Harrison, Luke McCaffrey, Bijan Robinson, and Jameson Williams. As far as receiving first downs, he is in 3rd right now behind Nacua and Amon-Ra St. Brown with 24 first downs. 70.6% of his receptions are first downs right now. He has fumbled the ball twice. So that's it. Again, there you go. I've talked about fumbles. That's his problem. And then yards after catch. This is the other crazy thing is he's not really doing it with yards after catch. He has 123 yards after catch. That's not even in the top 25 for most yards after catch. So very, very impressive what JSN is doing. Right now, I would say he is the second best receiver in the league in 2025 behind Puka Nacua. And I think, the long-term discussion, I mean, how many receivers would you rather have? Maybe Jefferson and Nacua right now and probably Jamar Chase still. That's maybe it. So he's up there. One more time, let's hit on this last topic real quick. Should Seattle make a trade with the New York Giants? Now, this is a weird one because I feel like the Giants are just a bad team, but a lot of their players after they leave New York actually improve. So I have my eyes on a receiver. Again, great, super cool what JSN is doing. We probably do need help on the receiving core. Cooper Kupp hasn't really been that guy. I think we could use some reinforcements there. Here's who I'm thinking. Wan'Dale Robinson is a pending free agent. The Giants are probably not going to re-sign this guy, let's be honest. They're a bad team. They're probably going to want to sell. I would trade a 5th-round pick or maybe probably a 5th or 6th-round pick for Wan'Dale Robinson. And if you're not familiar with Wan'Dale Robinson, he's kind of been their number 2, number 3 guy. Right now, he is their number 2 because Malik Nabers is out. He started the season as their number 3 guy. But I think he can be pretty good. Came out of Kentucky in 4 seasons. Last year, He started 7 games, 699 yards, 3 touchdowns in 93 receptions. This year, so far in 5 games, he's made 4 starts, 23 receptions for 267 yards and 1 touchdown. I think this guy is a very talented player, and I could see him getting even better leaving New York. Again, I don't think the Giants are going to re-sign him, but he's a second-round pick. He's got a lot of talent. I think he could help your team out a lot. If I'm Seattle, I would even trade a third or a fourth-round pick for him. I think he's that good. I think if he gets to your team, he is probably an upgrade over Cooper Kupp. And again, the Giants are not contenders this year. I know they're trying to develop Jackson Dart. They have other receivers in the building. I don't think they would keep him around if we made an offer. So that's my hot take there. We'll talk more about trading tomorrow. But with that all being said, guys, leave a like, leave a comment down below, and as always, until next time, go Seahawks.